I'm here in studio with South Shore VOTEC Superintendent Tom Hickey. Thanks so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, we had some fun talking on air, off air, and on air, a little bit off air about all the things that are going on with South Shore VOTEC. I'm learning quite a bit about it. My first experience with them was you have those night school programs.
Indeed.
I took 2 of those courses, and I fooled one of the guys going in. I said, I'm taking a plumbing course. Josephine the plumber was one of my childhood idols. He was like, really? It's like, no, I'm kidding. But I wish I knew how to do some of that stuff. But anyway, we're here to talk about something a little more serious, and this is a project that's going to be voted on this Saturday in 9 area towns, and this is for a new facility for the VOTEC. But before we get to that, as I was asking you off air, I think a lot of people may not be aware of just how full a program VOTEC is. From what I was remembering when I knew kids in high school that were in VOTEC, what is become VOTEC now, to me, seems more of a hybrid. And I think it started when I found out that not only do they learn all these practical skills and professional skills, they also had to pass the MCAS. So it's not that it's academic, it's everything.
We have said for years that we really do provide 2 educations in one, a very solid academic foundation, English, math, science, and social studies, physical education, health and wellness, and, of course, as you said, an immersive experience in one of our 12 vocational majors. Students, the unique part of our schedule is that students have alternating weeks, a week of academics, a week of shop, and our shop teachers, who are phenomenal, also run classes that are based, they're theory-based classes in the trade areas. So it is a hybrid package, and we deliver well on both.
And it's interesting, I was just looking through here about all the different programs that you do offer. Just in case people don't know, just give us a rundown of some of the career paths that kids can take.
Sure. So we have 12 of them. Automotive, which includes some collision instruction, culinary arts, carpentry, cosmetology, electrical, design visual communications, which we used to call graphic arts, computer information technology, HVAC, allied health, manufacturing engineering technology, metal fabrication welding, and horticulture landscape construction. It's a busy place.
It's not your grandfather's VOTEC anymore. Now, and I don't mean this in an insulting way, with that building, which was built, in the early 60s, when I took one of those night courses the last time, even then I thought, they need to do something with this building because it was clear that it was too small and very outdated.
We've done a good job of extending the life. We're very proud of it. We want people to come in and say, "Wow, you've kept this up," because that's all you can do with the resources you have. And so we have an opportunity here to look ahead to the next 50 or 60 years for vocational education in our region, and that's after several years of applying to the school building authority at the state level. We were finally accepted, and so we have an opportunity to address chronic waiting list issues, as well as giving these programs that you've seen firsthand, the space, more space for the current students, and also an opportunity to add new programming.
All right, and there is a waiting list to get in. There is a demand for these jobs, people to fill them, and students want to get there, but you don't have enough room.
No, we've got 428 applications for next year's freshman class with 180 students, and that's a growing gap. And so we think that we see the demand, and we also see that there are in-demand programming that we could offer. So in this new building that we're proposing, we will be able to add a plumbing program and a veterinary science program. So we'll be able to offer 2 additional programs and additional seats for kids from our 9 communities.
Now, this Saturday, 9 area towns are going to vote on this. And it looks like here, Abington, Cohasset, Hanover, Hanson, Marshfield, Norwell, Rockland, Scituate, and Whitman.
That's our school district. You got it.
Okay. Now, just because I wasn't clear about this, at first I was thinking, well, does each town have to vote to pass it? But that's not how it works.
Right. This is what's called a special district election. And so it's kind of the same way we elect our state rep or our state senator. All votes are tallied cumulatively, and it's a simple majority from the voters in the 9 towns.
And the total, now tell me about what is the project that's being proposed, total cost, and what's the reimbursement?
Certainly. So the project would be a new construction on our current location, 476 Webster Street in Hanover, Route 123. We would build it on our athletic fields behind our current school. So our current school would be fully occupied and functional. The project cost is $276 million. The state has committed themselves to a maximum grant of $111. We've got some money that we can put towards the project that we have in stabilization because we got reimbursed for our feasibility study. So I'm projecting about $162 million that would be divided up amongst our 9 towns. And that how that gets divided up is based on enrollment history. And then that timeline, if we're successful, we would have about a year of deeper design work done, getting ready for procurement, and shovels should go in the ground in the middle of 26, and this could be open for the 2028-2029 school year.
Now, Marshfield, again, joining this whole South Shore of VOTEC. Whitman, I believe, and Rockland have the most students in the program.
Currently, yes.
And I heard that Pembroke is possibly looking to join as well.
There's definitely been interest from the town of Pembroke.
Okay.
The kids in that town don't have access to vocational programs. And if we're successful in getting the school, then I have said, my own personal take on it is that this would be an opportunity to talk about further partners joining the district. We really do believe in vocational education. We want this region to be a place where people can have high-paying jobs. They can be the next generation of small business owners because that's the backbone of our regional economy. We also think we can do even more great work with our adult ed program. We recently received the largest state grant for adult workforce education, over $2 million grant to run night school programs. And they're not community enrichment programs like you were talking about earlier, but they're people that want to get into a trade. They want to expand their skill set. And so we're keeping the lights on well after hours. So we're a hub for workforce development. Our primary mission, of course, are high school age students, but we also are going to be there for our region when folks after grade 12, later in life, they want to make a career change. And we have the talent and the space and the resources to do it, and the state has been providing those resources for a few years.
Now, it's interesting when you were talking a little bit about doing an academic portion of their work and then going into the hands-on shop or whatever, the technical side. It sounds to me when Northeastern started doing this, you sound like Northeastern University, the great co-op program.
Yes, with all deference to Northeastern and the work they do, I feel like we're kind of like the Northeastern University of high schools because we have so many of our students in senior year going out on cooperative education, which means when they come up to their shop week, they're not coming to us. They are going to work, and a local employer has taken them on, and they're getting paid, and they're expanding their skill set. We pride ourselves in looking to expand our curriculum into the community. I joke about it that when I look into the student parking lot, and I see the parking lot is empty, I know that's a co-op week because the seniors' cars fill that lot on their academic week, but they're not there. They're off preparing for the next chapter of their lives.
Tell me something that people would be surprised to hear about the value of a VOTEC education.
Well, they might be surprised with just the earnings power behind it. We had members of the class of 2023 worked over 66,000 hours collectively, earning $1.1 million while they're in school. So when we're looking for return on investment, when we're looking for a system, an educational system where we're trying to get kids ready on day one to make an impact, when parents want their kids to be well equipped for whatever comes next, we think that we've got something special here. And the whole, being the second oldest VOC in Massachusetts, the folks who formed our school back in the day, they knew what is still true now. Our little towns have to band together to allow for this very important public school resource. Our towns couldn't do this on their own. And so by regionalizing, by sharing the cost and sharing the responsibility and keeping this path open, we're going to have a diverse workforce in this area where you never hear someone say, "Oh, I've got 10 plumbers I could call." That is a practical reaction that I get. Like when I say we're going to open a plumbing program, I've gotten that reaction 100 times. People recognize that there are certain trades and industries that are graying out, There aren't enough people going into them, and that has an adverse impact on the local economy.
When you said that, I was just thinking about that great movie, The Money Pit, with Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. And a guy pulls up to the house, I remember, like in a designer Italian jacket, I think driving a Ferrari. And Tom Hanks goes, "Who's that?" He goes, "Oh, that's the plumber."
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes, I should have known. So a lot of people go on to very successful careers, very well-paying careers. And a number of your graduates, I assume, also go to college.
This is not a college-free zone. Our academic teachers take their roles very seriously, and we do have kids go to college. We look at it we're not asking people to make a specific choice, but we just are saying we're going to have you ready for whatever comes next. And from a practical point of view, college is a very expensive proposition. There are definite career pathways that have to go through post-secondary college route. Not a problem. We think that we can empower our kids through a little more economic independence, that if they're making decisions to go to school, they're probably going to be paying for some of it, either through loans or pay-as-you-go. That's a reality. So we think that we're spending our time wisely with our kids. It goes by so quickly. 4 years goes by so quickly, but I do appreciate seeing graduates over the years saying, South Shore has been a part of my success, whether I'm talking to the graduates in their 20s, 30s, 40s, or beyond. That's
terrific. Now, 2 quick questions. Is there a website people can go to and get more details on this? And do you have a rough ballpark figure, if this passes, what the typical homeowner in each one of these towns would be paying?
So SouthShoreTechProject.com is our project website. And there's so much information on there. At times, it almost feels like, too much information to pick. But there's tax impact information on there.
Okay.
Every town's tax impact is a bit different, and it's based on enrollment. So some of our communities that have fewer kids, their tax impact is lower. So there are numbers that could range from under $100 a year up to, let's say, almost $300 a year. The key point I would make in any of the tax impact information is that the full borrowing for this project probably will not roll on until fiscal 2029 or fiscal 2030. It's an important point I want to emphasize, especially as our towns look to fiscal 26 and the challenges they're facing. This is not something that will have an immediate impact on town budgets in the years where we're just paying interest while the project is still moving forward. So the high watermark, we try to lay it out in great detail, fiscal 29 or 30, but all that information is available there.
And get out and vote on Saturday. And if you're in one of these towns, this is on the ballot, and it's Abington, Cohasset, Hanover, Hanson, Marshfield, Norwell, Rockland, Scituate, and Whitman. We're going to pop this interview up online too, and tune in to WATD. We'll be bringing you the results of this vote. Tom Hickey, Superintendent, South Shore Voc Tech. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Having me. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Having me.